the playoffs are set up for a team like the Patriots, especially after coming off the bye. To me, the Patriot relies on a lot of things. We know that Tom Brady at this stage of his career, Sony Michel and that offense, James White, those two combined, the running back room is the most talented on the Patriots offense. Besides their center and two guards, Tom Brady, so the center of their offense has the most talent. So I believe if they got 65 snaps, Sony Michel and James White, a minimum, going to touch the ball between them two 30 times. So they're going to be playing, they're going to speed up the clock in the game so that the Chargers feel that they're rushed. But it all is going to boil down to that guy, man. Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback ever. Can he, because he's going to have some opportunities, 4 or 5 times, 20 to 30 yards down the field, does he just let it rip? Because in the playoff, Tom Brady plays with a different type of style. He knows he's only got so many more of these runs in him. It's a cold, blustery day in January. That's where he's made his name for himself. How much magic does Tom still have left? And I believe we're going to be able to see this. Is it going to be something like Peyton Manning that we saw in his second to last playoff run? Man, he was still Peyton Manning, the great Peyton Manning. But when they won the Super Bowl, though, he was a shell of himself. This team just supported him, but you could see it. Now, are we going to be able to see the Tom Brady that we saw in 2017 in the playoffs, which was in 2018, or the Tom Brady that we saw the 2018 season, who wasn't one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL?
So that's what I wanted to ask you about. We said the same thing about Gronk. Maybe Gronk is saving something for the end of the year. Maybe he's saving something for the playoffs. Tom Brady didn't have great regular season. Maybe he's saving something for the playoffs. They've been a little messy. We saw games from this Patriots team where it was sloppy.
It's impossible to save something deliberately.
Sure.
Now, I just believe that the greats can go down and get something because they have what you know. It's called muscle memory. There's a certain amount of things that you're going to always be able to do athletically in the gym, running, because you've been doing it for so long. Great players have the ability. We've seen this basketball, Dwayne Wade, go in, grab some of that greatness. That's what I'm talking about with Tom Brady. It's no, oh no, I put this on the back burner, this little reservoir of, no.
So you think they have that tank? There's something they're going to tap into.
I know Tom Brady has it. It's just how many more glimpses are we going to see of it? And we just didn't see a lot during the regular season. But I've been alive long enough to have seen last year's playoff run and the Super Bowl to know that he couldn't have fallen off that far that quick.
I have a prediction for this weekend about how this weekend's going to be remembered. I think this weekend and this game, most notably, is going to be looked at as the game we circle as, oh, that was when this dynastic Brady-Belichick run ended. That this is a home loss in their first playoff game against a team that's never beat them in a year, the worst year Tom Brady's had in a decade, the worst year this Pats team record-wise has had in a decade, that we're going to say, okay, like the last truly great moment was the comeback against the Falcons. They nearly had another one until Brandon Graham ruined it in the Super Bowl last year, because if they lose this weekend, which they could, they're the smallest of all the favorites, and I think they will, there's no reason to think that all of a sudden next year will be better. There's no reason to think 42-year-old Tom Brady, even if he maintains, is going to be better than 41-year-old Tom Brady. It's not as if the Pats have, but we've got these studs that were injured at the beginning of the year. They're coming back in reserve. Like, Gronk's not going to get better. They
don't have a Saquon. Right. They don't have an OBJ.
Correct.
The weapons are there, but the quarterbacks.
And I know, listen, I understand I'm putting myself in jeopardy here, as our mutual friend, Trent Dilfer, 5 years ago said this is the end of it, and 5 years later it's still going. I think this weekend's going to be remembered as the weekend that the greatest run in NFL history in my eyes, greater than what the Steelers did in the 70s, greater than what the Cowboys did in the 90s, the Niners in the 80s. This is the weekend it ends. And that we're going to know it because a home loss at Gillette to a team that's never beaten.
All we have to do, Jenna, this is all we have to do. We just have to reserve some space for Monday for Nick to say, oh, you guys are right.
He's never going to say that.
I hate to say it.
He doesn't
That's what I do.
As much as it pains me.
No.
That's what I do.
He doesn't have that woven into his DNA to
No,
be
if
able
I'm
to
wrong,
just...
listen, I say I'm
Really?
wrong when I'm wrong.
Sometimes.
I was wrong. I apologize to the Eagles last year. I was wrong about the Eagles last year. I don't think I'm going to be wrong about this one. I think that's how we're going to remember
We
this
shall
most.
see. Good news
Wrong
is we're
about
all
the
back
Eagles,
here Monday, no
wrong
matter what.
about Ben Simmons' jumper.
Oh, no.
Got to take a break. Coming up, can Dak Prescott and the Cowboys keep it rolling against
Very
the
sad.
Rams?
Wrong about Andrew Luck.
Next
His
up,
neck
Chris
beard. He
Pittsburgh.
said it was attractive. I was like,
I tried at one point to duplicate it.
smoky neck.